Today we're going to be talking about how to sell on Craigslist. Well, the first thing I want to start off with is you can make a very easy living working on Craigslist. I've been doing it for the last 6 years. And the things you want to know about selling on Craigslist is what to buy, where to buy, how much money you're starting out with, and your location. Now, right now I'm living in a city, but it's not nearly quite the size of the city that I was living in before. That was Orange County, California. Orange County, I made a lot of money on selling on Craigslist. Today, we're just going to focus on one subject because there's so many things that I have to say. I mean, the list can go on and on. I pretty much have a doctorate degree in selling on Craigslist, so I don't mean to sound cocky, but it's just like, it's kind of like second nature, and I want to show you guys how to do it because it's very easy and it's a tough economy, and I want to help people out. So, first thing we're going to do today is talk about cell phones. Cell phones, for me, and I sell in a lot of categories, have been my bread and butter making money for the last 6 years. The way, and you may say, well, yeah, let's sell iPods, or I mean, let's sell iPhones. But you know, getting them for a good price is like almost impossible unless you got big capital. But the way to go about making money is actually not selling iPhones and staying away from those and sticking to cheap phones. This is a way to do Craigslist and make a lot of money on cell phones using practically, you can start off with no money and really make it. So what you want to do is, if you have an old cell phone, let's say Verizon, if your Verizon ESN is clear, meaning that it was like a phone that you had and you upgraded to another phone, so that means that your old phone would be a clear ESN. So if you have any of those laying around, you can sell those and people will buy them. With T-Mobile and AT&T, those are always big sellers because they're SIM cards. So, you know, people always need a cheap phone. But I'm getting a little bit off the subject here. The best way to get phones for a good price on Craigslist is put up a wanted ad and say, wanted, I need a cell phone, $15. And you will get responses. You can say, I need a Verizon cell phone, I need a T-Mobile cell phone. Stay away from Sprint because Sprint is the worst company. Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile are the phones that you want to get because those are the easiest to sell. And then you meet up with a person, and when you talk to the person, they say, yeah, I got one. And then when you talk to them, you say, okay, do you have any other phones laying around? And a lot of times, they'll have other phones. So that's one way of generating phones for a very cheap price. I mean, they'll let them go for $5 because most people, you know, look at them as useless. But you can actually get $20 to $25 to $30, $35 for each one. Another way to make money with cell phones on Craigslist would be to put up a wanted ad for, this would be if you're on eBay. Wanted broken phones. People will sell you their broken phones sometimes for like $20, like, I mean, really nice phones. I got a Dell Streak for $40 broken. I sold that on eBay for $90. So if you have an eBay account, you can do wanted ads on Craigslist for broken phones and resell them on eBay and make a really good profit. But always do your math, like check with eBay and see how much they're going for broken. Go to completed listings and actually see what they sold for. Another thing that relates to eBay. You don't really have to be on eBay to do this, but this is probably the best way, well, maybe second best way to make money on cell phones. You go to flea markets, you go to swap meets, you go to church sales, and you go to friends' houses. And if you find phones that, let's say, don't have a battery, or they're missing a pen stylus, or the back battery cover is gone, or there's a battery in it but it's dead. Most of the time it's a dead battery. 99% of phones that won't turn on are not anything but a battery. So what you do is you get those phones even if they don't work, and you invest the $3 and buy a battery. You can buy them on eBay, like any phone battery pretty much, for like $3. And get it from a USA seller because it comes quicker. Put the battery in. If the phone doesn't have a charger, you buy a charger for $3. Always buy a car charger because those are always cheaper than mall chargers. So you do that, and then let's say your total investment was like $2 on a phone without a battery cover. You invested about $10 into it, and you sell that phone for $30. So I mean, you're tripling your money. Like I said, this is just the beginner course on really just how to make money on cell phones without really having any money, and having like, you know, $100, $200 in your pocket, depending on how hard you hustle. If you're constantly out there and you're good with your money and you're constantly flipping and flipping, then you'll make a lot on this. If you have gambling habits and drug habits, most of the time you'll make a good score, and then you'll spend your money on drugs or whatever, and then you'll realize what you did, and you'll wonder why you don't have any money anymore. So that's just going to be the short lesson on that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can emphasize. I didn't write any of this down. This is just all off the top of my head. Let's see. Oh, another thing. If you have garbage laying around the house, maybe not garbage, but things that don't necessarily mean anything to you, or things that you know you can't sell, like take for instance, I wanted free beer. I never like to spend money on beer, so I would take these CRT computer monitors, the old school ones that, you know, nobody wanted, and I would take those and I'd put it for barter on Craigslist, barter for a 40 ounce of Bud Light, and guys would show up with a 40 ounce, you know, wanting a monitor. Not because the monitor was good or anything, but just because maybe they had two computers and they wanted to hook up both monitors, or just needed a backup because like theirs just went out, so they're connecting their laptop to the CRT monitor. You know, it could be a variety of things, but that always works. If you listen to some of my more lessons, I can show you how to move into a house for $300 with no security deposit. I can show you how to a lot of things. There's a lot of stuff on my mind. But anyways, this is part 1. I hope you enjoyed it. Take some of my tips, make some money, and follow my other videos, and you'll learn a lot of things. So, alright, goodbye.